So starting in the polytunnel, as you can see we've had quite a bit of growth since the last video. Everything is growing quite strongly. We have had a few things go to seed already, like bolt. I don't know if that was due to transplanting from module trays or whether it was because they dried out too much, because it's been quite hot here, sort of unseasonably hot for spring. We've had temperatures in the polytunnel reaching 35 degrees centigrade, so that's not surprising that a few things have started to bolt. One of them is the coriander. As you can see, we've got a long flower stem there. And another thing was we had some rocket here which actually bolted, so we had to take that out and eat what had grown already. We've got the cos lettuce at the back there growing really well. I've been taking pickings from the outer leaves every couple of days and getting lots of salads out of that. We've got the salad bowl red and green again, tons of pickings from that already, growing really well. This is mustard, that's American Giant Red, that's growing really well. It's almost growing too much. I think I probably got away with just planting one of those mustard plants and that would have given me all the food I needed. Monge 2 over there, they're growing really well. More salad. That looks like rocket, but it's actually just a mild salad. The peppers have started to get going, so we've got 4 peppers there, hot ones, and 4, I think, sweet ones over there, or it might be the other way around. There's a little basil, sweet basil in the middle there as well. Tomatoes, so we've got a couple of cords going up to the ceiling, and these have taken a little while to get going. I think we've had a few cold nights and it might have held them back a bit. We've also got some leaf curling, which I'm not really sure is from. It could be because I let them dry out a little bit, and whether that caused them to curl up, but they're now growing quite strongly. We've got sort of 2.5 feet of growth on the one on the left there, so that's excellent for this time of year. Cabbages, they are nearly ready for picking. I reckon 10 to 14 days more and they'll be ready, so in the polytunnel extra quick. That's another one that has started to bolt. We've got spinach there, a red vein spinach, and that is starting to bolt, so that will probably have to be eaten in the next few days. As you can see, we've got lots of seedlings to fill their space, so there's no issues there. Got a couple of hanging baskets, and they're difficult to grow with because they take quite a bit of watering, and the allotment, it's not in my back garden, so getting up here to water as frequently as they need can sometimes be difficult. Got a flower bed there just in front of the bees. Everything's growing really well. I'm not quite sure what that plant is, but it's just starting to flower now, so that's good. Cold frames, these have been a godsend, excellent, give me extra space. Here you can see we've got some fantastic squash plants. They'll be going in the ground probably in the next couple of weeks. And over here we have got tarragon and sweet corn. A few more, I'm not sure what that is at the back, I can't remember what I planted there. I think those are ornamental gourd, so probably won't plant too many of them because, I mean, what would you use an ornamental gourd for? My dad wanted to plant them, so I said go for it. We've got strawberries, horseradish, and the sunflowers are doing amazing. They're nearly 3 feet tall, and it's only May, or middle of May. The peas have had a bit of an attack by either pigeons or possibly the pea or bean weevil, some people call it. You can see the leaves have been kind of munched on the edges there, but a couple of them are getting going, but it's really stunted their growth. Strawberries already have got fruits coming and lots of flowers, so that's great. The onions are 12 inches tall. Leeks are a little bit slower, they're probably only 6-7 inches, and the shallots are also growing well. The fruit bushes are just starting to leaf out, and the spring sown broad beans are doing amazing. I mean, they look like winter or autumn sown broad beans. They're probably 4 foot tall possibly. And then we've got Monge too. They seem to not have been attacked quite as much by the pea and bean weevil, so they've kind of got a bit more of a head start, or they've grown more in the time since I planted them. We have beetroot and more onions. They're really just a catch crop, so I'm not too fussed whether they work or not, but they look like they're growing really well at the moment. And a bit more beetroot just down that outer edge next to the second early potatoes. So these are growing really well. Let's look up the line there. These are kestrel, and just earthed them up the other day. The main crop is just starting to come through. Some of them, well, that one there has grown quite a bit, but the other ones are probably about 2 weeks behind the second earlies, but they all got sown at the same time. And runner beans, they've had a bit of cold, so as you can see the leaves have started to go a little bit yellow. I think that's just a slight frost might have caught them one night and held them back a little bit, but I'm sure they'll be fine. They'll take off. It'll just take a bit longer. French beans, they're doing well. Obviously a smaller plant than the runner bean, but they should hopefully grow up these canes quite nicely. And a few more peas on the end there, so that's pretty much the allotment. Keeping on top of all these weeds between the stones is a bit of an issue. I've got myself a little weed burner, which I'll show in another video how I use that. Compost bins are slowly filling up. A couple of pots around the allotment, watering them every day, just trying to keep them growing strongly. A few more pots of strawberries in the bee area, the apiary or bee yard. And moving on to the bees, I actually split the colony last weekend, so we're now on Thursday and I split them on Sunday. So the plan is to go into them this weekend and see which colony has the queen, because I couldn't find the queen when I split them, and that will be visible. Well, I'll explain it in another video, but there'll be a few things that we look out for to see which colony has got the queen in it. And then my friend's actually got a few queens, so we might just add a queen to the queen's colony just to save them having to make a new one, which would be fine for them. It's just going to take a month, as where if I just put a queen in, she could start laying within a day or two. We also have another part to our allotment that's actually down on my friend's allotment, so we'll quickly walk down there. I know this video is getting quite long, but I'll just show you what's going on down there, because I've obviously run out of space to plant things on my allotment. And the plan is, my dad has also put in for an allotment, and it should be this one here. So we've got the big fruit net there, apple tree, a few more fruit trees. But as you can see, the weeds have just gone crazy. So the plan is to clear all of the weeds and make up some little beds and start growing, well, probably the squash and cucumbers and things over on this plot, because I've just simply run out of space. This plot here, I actually look after the grass, so the plan is, well, I haven't actually started mowing yet, but because the lady had it mowed last week, but she's asked me to mow the grass on this allotment twice a month. So we've got a couple of long paths, a bit of parking area at the front here. She's not too fussed about the edges. She said don't worry about too crisp an edge, but we've got the tools and it doesn't take that much longer to do it. So to kind of be nice, I'm going to probably do some nice Victorian edging on those beds. So this is my friend's plot, and he had some extra space that he wasn't going to use this year, so I have planted it up with some crops. These are some of my overwintered leeks along the edge here, so they've been in the ground, well, since last November time, and they'll be growing and hopefully cropping in the next few months. So this is the patch that he gave me. We have 2 net hoops there, some more runner beans, courgettes, and then another net hoop here with spinach, celeriac, beetroot, cauliflower and broccoli, or calabrese. I think those two have been attacked by cabbage root fly, because they have died. And actually over in that bed where we've got the normal flat leaf pointed cabbages. We had 3 of them do the same thing, so I replanted there with red cabbage. Because I think probably it's cabbage root fly, because when I took the plants out that had died, there was literally no roots on them at all, so I think they might have just been caught by a couple of those little critters. More potatoes, and this row of potatoes is quite a special one, because these are show potatoes. These are one called Bluebell, and I'm not sure what they taste like, I've never eaten them, but apparently they're quite a nice one to grow for the show bench. More shallots here, garlic. We only managed to get 2 rows to survive. I had 3 more rows there, but for some reason, no reason that I can tell, they died. Turnips, we've started harvesting them already. You can see a few spaces. Let's get in there. You can see the turnips are growing really well. They were planted in sort of clumps of fall, and as you can see, they just push their way apart. So you don't have to plant them individually, it saves time planting them in a clump. Brussels sprouts under this netting are growing really well, these are mine as well. And then we have a few kale, chard and parsnips on the end. So I know it's been about nearly 15 minutes long, this video, but I just wanted to give you a kind of a proper update on the allotment, because I know it's been a while since you saw what was going on.